Hey class, in this video we are going to talk about ways that you can make your paper, your essays more tighter, more cohesive, so paragraphs flow from one to the next. So we're going to talk about paragraph hooks. Not the same kind of hooks that you use to begin a paper. Those serve a different purpose. A hook or an attention grabber is used to hook your reader in, whereas the paragraph hooks that I'm going to talk about now are used to link body paragraphs together. There are 4 paragraph hooks, and I'll show you a sample of each one. But first, I want to show you a paragraph, and hopefully it will help you understand why it is important to provide these kinds of transitions. All right, so this is a paragraph about Mark Twain. Mark Twain is established in the minds of most Americans as a kindly humorist, a gentle and delightfully funny man. No doubt his photographs have helped promote this image. Everybody is familiar with the Twain face. He looks like every child's ideal grandfather, a dear old white-thatched gentleman who embodies the very spirit of loving kindness. And there are a lot of photographs of Mark Twain, many of which show him when he was much younger, but this particular paragraph here kind of reminds me of the Kentucky Fried Chicken dude, right? Colonel Sanders, white hair, just friendly, right? Almost like a Santa Claus type figure. Okay, so notice the next sentence. If we were going to start the paragraph with the next sentence, well, let me read it aloud. Twain wrote some of the most savage satire ever produced in America. Hopefully, you can kind of hear or see that these ideas are completely different, right? This paragraph here is talking about the image, and this image kind of produces this effect, that this is just a calm, happy-go-lucky man. But this next sentence, which would be the topic sentence of the next body paragraph, not only does it talk about something different, right? We're not talking about a Twain's image, but now we're talking about his writing. Right? But not only that, his writing was very bitter, right? It was satirical. What's satire? I think Family Guy, right? Trying to poke fun at society. It's funny, but it's meant to bite. So these are 2 very different ideas, right, in an essay. So we would want to come up with ways to transition from this idea, this view, this friendly, a non-threatening view, to this person who has basically written a lot of satire about America and actually coined the phrase the Gilded Age. If something is gilded, there's like a thin layer of gold, but what's underneath is not all that shiny and good. All right. Okay, so the first type of hook is called a simple hook. So here you're going to take the last word of the first paragraph, take that, and you're going to hook it into the first sentence of the second paragraph. So the very last word of a body paragraph is going to be taken and incorporated into the topic sentence of the next paragraph as a point of departure for introducing another idea. Okay, so we're taking a look at a sample paper. This is a sample essay number 2, and you can take a look at it. I posted it. But let's pick it up from right here. So I think we're talking about Chris Langan, right? Remember The Trouble with Geniuses? He's the smartest man in the world, but he didn't really make much of himself. Okay. Being disappointed by 2 different colleges angered him. Him, of course, is Chris Langan. A bright future was stolen from him. It didn't matter that he was of extraordinarily high intelligence. He was destined to fail when he was shut out from these colleges. He had no opportunity to recover. He had no opportunity to pursue his studies and heighten his capabilities, right? So with this simple hook, we're going to take this word, capabilities. It's the last word in the body paragraph. we're going to use it to link these two body paragraphs together. Right? Individuals need a chance to develop and expand their skills, a chance to reach their capabilities. So notice here, the word capabilities is repeated. Since capabilities is the last word in the previous paragraph and is used in the first sentence, we have a simple hook. Okay, one more thing about that simple hook. Remember, these the idea is you're taking this last word, right, as a point of departure to introduce the new idea. These paragraphs are similar, but they are different. This one here basically proves that if you don't have an opportunity, you are going to fail, right? You can have all the talent in the world. And this next paragraph here, right, it's closely related, but it talks about how it goes into more depth. It explains that, it tells us what these opportunities are going to do, right? And basically what it's going to do, it's going to allow a person to develop their skills, right? So think about those hockey players, right? The hockey player got an opportunity, especially if they were born January, February, March, and they took that opportunity, which allowed them to develop more because they played more games, they had the better coaches, etc. All right, so our next hook then is a deeper hook. You can go back further into the last sentence, sometimes to even better effect. So we're still staying in the last sentence. So let's take a look at this paragraph, body paragraph. Pick it up here. He, again, I think we're talking about Oppenheimer, or I'm sorry, Joy, actually, Bill Joy. He was given these opportunities and created the foundation of the internet we use today. He would most likely remain a nobody if it wasn't for the chances he was provided. Okay, so notice we're taking chances. It's not the last word in the last sentence, but it's still in the last sentence, and we're going to use that to transition to the next point. Robert Oppenheimer is another example of being given chances that gave him success. So here the points are pretty simple, right? We're moving away from Joy, Bill Joy, and we are talking about Robert Oppenheimer, right? And we are linking these two body paragraphs together with a deeper hook by using the word chances. Okay, so our third kind of hook is a multiple hook. If you go back deeper than the last sentence, you usually need a multiple hook. With a multiple hook, you are grabbing multiple ideas from the previous paragraph and using them in the next paragraph. Okay, so let's take a look at this body paragraph. We'll start with the topic sentence. Being born with advantages gives one a boost up, especially in the world of sports. So this is actually the first body paragraph right after the thesis. So notice what I did. I went in and highlighted all the times the writer used the word advantage, right? So we had 3 and also opportunity. So I use that as a multiple hook, right? Because we're not in the last sentence anymore. So I'm going to incorporate these two words, right? Opportunity and advantage, in my topic sentence of the next paragraph. Individuals with talent will fail without being given opportunities that stem from advantages. So again, this is kind of like this paragraph here explains or kind of makes the claim with some evidence, and this next paragraph is going to get into more detail. Right? But they're linked together by, with this multiple hook using opportunity and advantage. Our last kind of paragraph hook is an idea hook. So an idea hook hooks into the preceding paragraph, but we're not using exact phrases or words. We are thinking of the idea and taking that idea and using a single phrase. So let's take a look at a sample of that. It would be right here. Oops, sorry about that. Right here. Okay. So again, let's start with this body paragraph here. We have already talked about this one. Robert Oppenheimer is another example of being given chances. Okay. So take a look here. I went in and I highlighted what I thought were phrases or words that kind of helped to present the topic or the main idea of this paragraph, right? So I highlighted Oppenheimer was able to develop proper social skills. Oppenheimer's had practical intelligence. And juxtaposing his practical intelligence, we have Langan, right, who has a lack of social interaction and unstable childhood. All right, so I use all these highlighted words and phrases, and I came up with the idea of vastly different worldviews, right? And I use that in my topic sentence. Langan and Oppenheimer had similar levels of ability. They were both smart, but vastly different worldviews. Langan's worldviews made him oblivious to the opportunity. So can you see the difference? I didn't take any precise words. I looked at social skills. I looked at practical intelligence. I looked at the lack of social interaction. And their environments, their parenting styles, basically gave these two men different worldviews, right? Remember, Langan always thought that the system, right, that the sort of like a big brother type mentality, somebody's out to get me. Whereas Oppenheimer was very savvy. I mean, he basically talked himself out of being punished for poisoning the professor. So I look forward to seeing at least one example of a paragraph hook in your next paper.